is first of all teach the horse to be able to do a walk to canter, because the walk to canter is going to be my aid for the flying change. So all I do is I'm going to use my outside leg, I'm going to take it off, put it on, and he just canters. So first of all, we're going to do that a few times. He is a very energetic horse, and being a stallion, he doesn't always think about the dressage first, especially at this time of year. And if I was a bit braver, I think he might like to jump one of the jumps as well. But I'm nearly past that now, so he's still got to learn to do his dressage. But this, although he's a very hot horse, as in forward going and really wants to work, which isn't perhaps the easiest when they're very young, but it is in fact a really good sign for him being a Grand Prix horse, because he has to be very sensitive and wanting to do his work to make a good Grand Prix horse. So I'm just going to narrow this canter walk, canter down. So he walks a few seconds and canter right. Now this is just called a simple change first of all, and I can do it backwards and forwards over the centre line, walk, now my right leg, canter. So he understands that, you can see that, and obviously at 9 years old, he is quite trained now. He's already winning a lot of competitions, international small tour level, so just below Grand Prix. This time, I'm going to ask my left leg for that. That's the flying change. So he understands that. This way I'm going to ask him with my right leg, so it's almost like a walk canter, and he knows to go that way. And you can do these little serpentines up and down the arena, left, and he has quite an expressive change. So the reason again why he's quite successful, if you look at his expression, not only does he change very nicely from behind, but also he has a very good front leg expression. I'm going to ride a few half passes with him, and in Grand Prix this is how steep they have to be. I have to go from the corner to the letter B, and I'm going to do a flying change here, and then he has to make it back again to K. And this is, with a horse like this, very athletic of course, you think what's the fuss? But some horses find it very difficult to go from one corner to the other, let alone a seat one. So that Grand Prix special half pass, so that's not in our team test. In our team test, we have to do a zigzag. And a zigzag in canter is, again, something that's quite difficult. We have to do it in 6 strides. So I'm going to show you on the long side first of all. I have to do it on the centre line in the test, but on the long side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is a pretty difficult movement when I have to get the change 3, 4, 5, 6 in the new direction. 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Okay. So, in a Grand Prix, that would be ×2 as well. So, lots of the difficult movements are always ×2, so that you pay quite heavily when you make a mistake. A working pirouette in canter, before I do a proper one. Now, training is about getting the control of the horse. And I'm just riding a nice, sort of like 10-metre circle of travers this is, just bringing the hind legs in. And what I have to do for the training is I can ride it very slow, I can ride it a little bit faster, which always makes him grunt a lot, so I know that's a bit hard work there, lots of sneezing, and then slow again, quick again, just so that this way he has to stay very lively on my aids. He has to understand he's got to be active, but he's got to be relaxed, and now I'm going to spiral it down. And there you can see counter pirouette. So yesterday I was just explaining, Pammy rode a Grand Prix yesterday. We were just explaining, you have to do that on the centre line. And I thought I'd stick to all the things I was good at, but in fact, I suppose I better show something that is difficult, and this is the counter pirouette on the centre line. So I've got 3 judges at the top there, or terminators we call them, and they're looking now to see if I'm straight. The horse is completely in front of my leg, and now I've got to do a counter pirouette on the centre line, at least 6 strides, and turning round, keeping the energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, the other times 2 mark is these 1 tempi changes, where you see the horse skipping from one leg to the other, and we have to do 15 of those, and they have to be, again, the judge is looking for them to be straight, expressive. You've seen the single flying changes, so I'm going to get straight on and do the 1-time changes. So I'm going to do them up the long side first of all. She's waiting in the lorry. You just have to kid him a bit. So I'm going to do them on the wall because this is really helping me keep him straight. Good. No mistakes there. And now on the diagonal, slightly more difficult. So again, check that he stays straight. 15 I've got to do. Except I've lost count now, so I'm going to have a guess. I think that was 15. I have to do them on the centre line. So again, the 3 terminators, looking straight on to see if I can keep him on this line without him being crooked. And there we have them on the centre line. That really is all of the canter work that is required in a Grand Prix. So you can see quite a lot of things there that they have to learn, and at 9 years old he knows everything, but he's not really quite ready to do a test yet. So I'm probably going to wait 1 more year and do his Grand Prix next year. Now the thing is, if you have a horse with a good canter, you could probably train anything to do all those movements you've just seen. The difficult bit is the piaffe and passage. That's what makes a Grand Prix horse special. She's still there. So I'm going to show you again, in a Grand Prix, what you would expect is to see the horse piaffing, that's trotting on the spot, but in training again, I'm going to ride it very forward. So if you look at his legs, I'm going to ask him to be diagonal, he's springing, and just spring him forward, because I want him at this age, at 9 years old, he has to realise that as well, it's not difficult, because you can imagine having this horse on the spot doing it, he has to work very hard to carry his weight there. So I just teach him like this first, just travelling around the school. And again, you can see, very promising. So one day, when this comes on the spot, this is really going to be a good piaffe, because you can see not only is he springing behind, but he also has to bend his knees and bring his front legs up, which again just makes for expression. He's also, as they always say with a stallion, I have to ask. I don't tell, because otherwise he tells me something as well. So again, he's just got to keep learning to come forward. And of course he hasn't been out very much since he's been back at stud with his wife, so I haven't actually ridden him for 2 weeks, so he's a little bit cross, I think, that he's been dragged out for this. So again, there you can see some very promising steps of piaffe, which he's very natural at. I've just had to teach him to just stay forward and bounce on the spot and just learn it in a way that hopefully, you know, it keeps him wanting to do it, because that's very important. I don't want to do a Grand Prix test and I'm the one bouncing up and down on the spot while he stands still. So, just teaching him like this. Okay, the next bit from this is the passage. So, now we're going to have a very elevated trot here. There we go. Now this takes a long time to teach. This is really trying here to get him to in suspension. Very good. Again, what they're looking for is this high elevation that shows expression. And this PF and passage, which I'm doing now, is all part of trotting. So it's really just got to be taught through trot. So 1 minute I can just come forward a little bit, that's his trot, and then I half halt him, so give him a little check on the rein, touch him with my leg, up to passage again, good, trotting forward again, and he has to learn it by doing it, like I said, through the trot work. So,